I was born into a distinguished family whose legacy was as much a burden as it was an honor. Ashford Manor, our ancestral home, nestled in the misty hills of Ireland, held secrets that whispered through its corridors. My childhood was marked by both splendor and sorrow, for while I was cherished by some, I often felt overshadowed by the memory of my late sister, Eleanor, whose laughter once filled these very halls. At the age of 14, I began to sense that Ashford was not merely a home, but a living testament to past regrets and unspoken mysteries. It was on a stormy evening, as rain lashed against ancient stone windows, that a peculiar letter arrived. The envelope, sealed with a dark wax crest, bore no return address. Trembling with anticipation and dread, I opened it. The elegant script inside urged me to meet an unknown messenger at midnight by the manor's neglected east wing, a place where the light never seemed to reach. That midnight, my heart pounded as I tiptoed through echoing corridors. The silence was broken only by the distant roll of thunder and the soft whisper of my own breath. Outside, beneath a sky lit sporadically by lightning, I found a solitary figure standing by the ivy-covered gate. Clad in a long black coat and a hat pulled low over his eyes, the stranger's face was obscured in shadow. "You must come with me," he said, in a low, urgent tone. Before I could question his intent, he vanished into the darkness, leaving behind only the echo of his words. The following morning, a heavy sadness enveloped me. Rumors began to circulate that my estranged uncle, who had long harbored resentment against our family, was seen near the estate. His sudden reappearance stirred old wounds and a sense of foreboding. I recalled the letter's mysterious summons and wondered if it were connected to a plot against our lineage. My parents, who rarely spoke of the past, dismissed my concerns as childish imaginings. Yet, the memory of that midnight encounter clung to me like a persistent shadow. As days passed, unexplained occurrences at Ashford Manor intensified. In the dim light of dusk, I caught fleeting glimpses of a pale figure roaming the deserted corridors. Her eyes, though vacant, radiated an inexplicable sorrow. One chilly evening, as I sat in the drawing room reading by the flicker of a lone candle, I heard soft footsteps approaching. I turned to see an elderly woman with a face lined by grief and eyes that seemed to carry a lifetime of secrets. "I am Margaret," she whispered. "I once served in this house and know its hidden heart. Beware the man in the black coat, for he brings with him the vengeance of a past long buried." I questioned her further, but her words were as enigmatic as the shadows dancing on the walls. She warned that the manor's history was steeped in betrayal, tales of forbidden love, broken promises, and a bitter feud that had torn the family apart generations ago. According to Margaret, the spectral figure I had seen was Eleanor, returned not to seek comfort, but to deliver a warning. That very night, I dreamt of my sister's laughter, turning into mournful cries as she reached out from a foggy distance, her voice pleading, "Run while you still can." Torn between disbelief and an overwhelming need to uncover the truth, I resolved to confront the mystery head-on. One day, I discovered an old diary hidden behind a false panel in the library. Its brittle pages chronicled the tragic events that had befallen our ancestors. I learned that my uncle had once been deeply in love with a woman whose life ended under mysterious circumstances, a death that had ignited a relentless curse upon the family. The diary hinted that the spirit of that wronged woman had been seeking justice ever since. Could the man in the black coat be an agent of that curse? Late one autumn evening, as the wind howled through the corridors of Ashford, I heard a familiar knock at the door. Heart in my throat, I opened it to find the stranger from that fateful midnight standing on the threshold. His eyes, now visible in the candlelight, revealed a sorrowful determination. "You must leave this place," he urged softly. "The secrets of Ashford Manor have claimed too many lives already. If you remain, you will be ensnared in a fate you cannot escape." His warning sent chills down my spine. I pleaded for clarity, but he only repeated his caution in a hushed tone before disappearing into the storm. In the days that followed, my world at Ashford became a maze of half-truths and lingering regrets. My parents, though visibly anxious, refused to discuss the past, and even Margaret had vanished as mysteriously as she had appeared. Yet the feeling of impending doom grew stronger with each passing night. One particularly cold morning, I gathered the courage to confront my father about the manor's dark history. His eyes, clouded with old pain, filled with tears as he recounted the tale of my uncle's treachery and the loss that had devastated our family. "We tried to forget," he murmured, "but the past never truly dies here." His confession was bittersweet, laden with remorse and resignation. As winter slowly crept over Ashford Manor, the supernatural presence intensified. Doors creaked open on their own, and voices echoed in empty rooms. One night, I awoke to find myself staring at a spectral figure hovering at the end of my bed. It was Eleanor, her expression a mixture of sorrow and urgency. "You must escape," she pleaded, her voice barely audible. "He will come for you, as he did for me." I never learned the true identity of the man in the black coat, nor did I ever witness his reappearance after that night. In the weeks that followed, I made preparations to leave Ashford Manor behind. The manor, with all its splendor and secrets, had become a prison of memories and haunted regrets. I left with a heavy heart, carrying the bittersweet legacy of a family cursed by its own history. To this day, I sometimes hear my sister's voice in the rustling leaves and feel a cold presence watching from afar. The mysteries of Ashford Manor remain unresolved, a reminder that some secrets are best left undisturbed, and that the past, no matter how deeply buried, will always find a way to whisper through the corridors of our lives.